Good, welcome you guys back to my channel, NeiNei Blobs. So today's video is my favorite reads of 2018. I'm pretty sure this is coming up late January. I'm sorry, I'm really behind with my videos, but it's up and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So in 2018, I only read 16 books. So choosing my favorites were kind of easy, especially because I didn't put a limit to the amount of favorite books that I can have in this video. So I have quite a few, and I think it's more than half of the books that I read. It's just because last year I read many good books, and like the time that I could read, I made a point to read really good books or books that I really want to read. So it doesn't surprise me that many of the books that I read last year are on this list. So let's begin. This is not in any order at all. So I'm gonna start off with the first book that I read in 2018, Warcraft by Marie Lu. This book really started my year off on a good note. Emika, the main character of this book, accidentally hacks herself into a worldwide famous game, and everyone sees her appear in this game out of nowhere, like she's not registered or anything, and then disappear. And she hopes that nobody notices, but this game is watched by millions of people in the world, and the next morning she gets a call from the person that actually created the game. So this is definitely one of my favorites of all time. It really opened up my eyes on gaming and how to write certain gaming things. I was really interested in this book and the characters and the background of the characters, and it definitely kept my attention. Another one of my favorites of last year was The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. I read both books in this duology, the other one being The Crown's Fate, and this is definitely my favorite. I like the first one more, just because I read it in the most perfect time. In history, we were actually studying about Russia, and this is set in Russia. So in this setting in Russia, there is one person that carries all the magic of Russia, and this person becomes the king's enchanter. But now in this time there are two people that have different magic skills, and they have to face off to see who's going to become the king's enchanter. There cannot be two people, so whoever wins will receive the other enchanter's magic, and that person will be left without any magic. I really love competitions and seeing characters like compete and how their relationships grow, and this definitely was a really good book in terms of competition and also having a background to each character. We got to see many points of views or many characters grow in this book, and it was very fascinating to see everyone's point of view and how they think. The next book is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This was another book that I just read at the perfect time. It was such a fast read, like in the midst of me not being able to read, being too busy, I was able to pick this up and finish it in a few hours. It's about a few kids who get stuck in detention, and during detention, one of the learners die. It was very fast paced, and it also made me feel so many emotions. I felt shock, I felt romance, I felt adventure, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it and seeing all the characters. So it's kind of a mystery, and with that we get to see points of views of other characters in this story, and it just reminds us not to judge a book by its cover and that everyone has a story, and it also gives you a love shock, okay? And just yeah, beware, the last part is very eventful, and yeah, you can just finish this really quickly and it will definitely keep you on your toes. Another one of my favorites is The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. I read The Boy on Top of the Mountain before this by John Boyne, and I just fell in love with his writing style. Although it's very unique, it's really good. And for the longest time I've been wanting to read this book. I only picked up the other book because I knew this person wrote The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, and I watched the movie and it was amazing. Finally, I read this. Everyone most likely knows what this book is about. It's set in World War II. It's about a boy. His father is, I think, a commanding officer or a soldier in World War II, and they have to move right next to a concentration camp. This book is in the boy's perspective, and he's just a young boy finding out the evils of war and what his father is busy with. And yeah, so he has to move, and obviously we see in his perspective, so he has like these childish wonders, and it was very interesting to see in his point of view all these things happen and his reactions to them. I definitely recommend it, and after you read it, go and watch the movie because the movie is also really good. Another unique read of 2018 was The Bone Sparrow by Zara Freylon. This book was very inspirational, especially for one of my essays in my English class. It follows this boy, very young boy, who is born in an immigration detention camp. So he's a refugee and he has been living in this immigration detention camp his whole life. That's all he knows. All he knows. So he's oblivious to the rest of the world. He doesn't know much about the rest of the world. This just opened my eyes to the truth of these centers, and yeah, and being in the small boy's perspective was so interesting because he doesn't know anything else, and to us, you know that this is wrong, what's happening. You know that it's not normal to eat food with worms in, or like disgusting food, or being given so little food in a day, or even the education that they're given is bad, but to him it is normal. In this book he meets another child, and she is not from the camp, and she's from the outside world. So their paths collide, and they form a connection, and at different times they lean on each other for strength and for guidance. So it's quite interesting, and it's just a really, really inspiring book. Then my favorite trilogy of 2018 was The Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken. So although I came very late to this trilogy, I am so happy that I decided to pick these books up. They are definitely one of my favorite trilogies of all time. They are with Hunger Games and with Divergent and Twilight, even though Twilight's not a trilogy. They are definitely one of my favorite trilogies, and I just want everyone to read them. The movie of this came out recently, and although a lot of people don't completely love it, I enjoyed it so much. Even though I read the book, I just loved the small Easter eggs and the parts that they did put in that are from the book. I felt like many parts were really good from the book, and although a lot of people are negative about it, I'm just really grateful for the parts that have been put in, and I felt like the movie was good. All in all, obviously book to movie adaptations will never be perfect, but I enjoyed it. So this trilogy follows a world in which a virus came and it killed like all the children, but the children that did survive came out with powers. So there are different types of powers. There is mind control, fire, controlling electricity, being super smart and good with like computers and things, and there's lifting things with your mind. And in this book we follow Ruby as she has to survive during this time, and we start off with her being in one of these camps, which is almost like a forced working camp, and it's really bad, and we follow her as she has to try and survive. I can't tell you more because then it's spoilers, but the characters in here are iconic, and I am so happy I read this last year, and I definitely want just everyone to read this. Just read it. I promise you, you will enjoy it. And the first two books ended so suspenseful, and you just want to pick up the next book, and the last book was so satisfying. Like, I'm not kidding, I was so satisfied with the last book. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, even though it's very late to be putting up a favorites of 2018. We're well into 2019, late January, but at least it's still in January. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like this video and comment down below your favorite books of 2018 and your most anticipated reads of 2019. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and check out other videos of mine. There will be links down below. I recently reorganized my bookshelf and I also made 2019 goals, so please check it out. There will be links down below. Okay, so see you guys next time. Bye!